the bell for round one, and there it is, and here's Don Dumpy.
Thank you, Van Patrick. Smoking Joe pouring in. He will try not to let Ali have too much of the ring. He'll try to cut him off. Both boys a little bit tense. Frazier's coming in wide open, wide open. The Ali shuffle brought the crowd laughing. Ali making the clinch.
Step on the side.
It's been a good round so far for Ali. Frazier finally gets into the body. Tony Perez gets him apart. Less than a minute to go. Frazier taking a lot of headshots. The round almost over.
There's the bell. That's the end of round one. And Ali gave it the famous shuffle at the end of the round and goes back to his corner.
There's the corner of Joe Frazier. In with him, facing head-on, is manager Eddie Futch. On the left-hand side, Milt Bailey. And the other man, Dr. John Thompson. Now, Joe Frazier took an awful lot of headshots in that round, and we wonder how that's going to affect him later on. He rarely hit Ali, who had a tremendous round. He got in a few body shots, but not enough to prove valuable. The first round unquestionably went to Muhammad Ali.
You notice Eddie Futch is talking to Joe Frazier. Now they're going over to Ali's corner. And Don, he's fighting, it seems to me, a different type of fight than the first fight with Joe Frazier.
Well, he's more like the old Ali, moving around. In the corner, Drew Brown, Walter Youngblood, and of course his manager, Angelo Dundee. We're coming up to round two.
Loaded with confidence too, isn't he?
Oh yes. That's the old Muhammad Ali before the previous Frazier fight. Frazier is smiling. Good left hook by Frazier. I doubt if there'll be any clowning in the corner by Muhammad Ali tonight as there was the last time. Now, Ali is starting to miss, and Joe is countering him. Frazier smiling, talks to Ali. Tremendous left hook. Ali is dominating the fight. The question is if Frazier can hold up under this punishment and Ali slows down. Frazier always a slow starter. I never remember him winning the first round of an important bout, but he won plenty of others. Oh, he got in there. Ali came right back. Joe was wobbled. What's happening? The bell didn't ring. The referee thought the bell rang. The referee didn't. There was about 10 seconds left to go. The referee thought he heard the bell. The bell had not rung.
I started to look around. I couldn't figure what happened, and Ali had Frazier in trouble. He had him in trouble right above us here, and the referee, Tony Perez, thought the bell had clanged.
Tony
sent the fighters to their corners.
Well, Tony pulled a gaffe there. He thought the bell had rung, and the commissioner, Joe Siaka, is going over it. Here's a replay.
Let's have a look at it again, and there is a tremendous left hook, which is the best blow of the fight landed by Joe Frazier. But then Ali came right back. And he had Frazier in trouble when the referee moved in and sent the fighters to their corner. We're looking at Muhammad Ali right now. He's still bristling with confidence, and he looks like the Ali of old. But the one thing that Frazier will have to do, if he can withstand this punishment, is slow Ali down somehow. We're coming up to round 3. There's the buzzer. And Ali goes into his shuffle. Here's Frazier, and here's Don.
There's the bell. Frazier forcing the action. Ali setting himself to try for a knockout. They're putting everything into this. Ali is going to try for a knockout here. He thought he had Joe in trouble. Frazier taking a lot of headshots all through the fight. Ali misses a lot. No question about it. These are great fighters. This is the old Muhammad Ali now. 2 minutes left in the round. Frazier can't seem to untrack himself. If Ali tires, Frazier could get him in trouble. Frazier coming on now. Almost a replica of the first fight. Ali is missing a lot now and getting gun shy. On A minute to go in the round. Ali making the clinch. Frazier coming back after a bad 2 rounds. Frazier has landed some hard body shots. That's what he wants to do. There's the bell ending round 3.
Frazier came back, as you pointed out, Don. He's a slow starter, but he came back in that round, and Muhammad Ali was a little more cautious. And Frazier continued to land those body blows, and he got that good left hook. I noticed, too, that Joe is using his right hand more in this fight than the one 3 years ago here in the Garden when he won the decision from Muhammad Ali. And Ali is fighting a little bit of a different fight himself.
And Ali is using his right hand very well, and there was question about it being hurt. Apparently it's not.
Both of the physical examinations showed these fighters to be in top-notch condition, but you begin to wonder again how long they can keep up this tremendous pace. Somebody's got to tire soon. It's been a great fight up to now.
We're coming up to round 4. It is scheduled for 12. And plenty of excitement at old Madison Square Garden. I must point out that most of the clinches are made by Muhammad Ali. It is he who breaks off the action.
Wait for that trumpet cop. Go back dancing. Keep dancing. Keep dancing. Don't get anxious. Back into it. Don't stop,
Ali doing the holding.
Don't start no talking.
It is scheduled for 12 rounds. This is round 4, a minute gone in round 4. 12-round bout. So if Ali's got the spring in his legs, he might keep dancing all night. One of those jabs landed. They're just above us. Tony Perez gets them apart. Ali seems in much better shape than he was 3 years ago. Much better. He's got the old bounce in his legs. Aggressiveness counts in New York State, and Frazier is the aggressor, even though Ali may be scoring the more punches. 30 seconds left in this round. Frazier's still smiling. Bell ending round 4.
And I think two prominent items have been borne out here. The fact that Ali's hand is all right. There was some concern about Joe Frazier's head. The last fight 3 years ago that he sustained, but he seemingly is all right. As you mentioned, he was smiling a moment ago, and a little earlier, he was talking to Muhammad Ali. There's no question they don't like each other, but I think Frazier's gaining confidence now, and he's coming on strong after the first 2 rounds. Rough sailing for him.
There's a thought that maybe Frazier sat down a little hard that time, Van, but I think it was because his corner took so long to get the stool in the ring. Somebody goofed over there. That stool should be in there almost at the bell.
There's the buzzer again, both fighters to their feet, and we're ready to go now with round 5.
Muhammad Ali, round 5. It's a 12-round bout. Once again, Ali takes the lead early in the round. Ali has been dropping his gloves a little bit, and that's dangerous because Joe Frazier has the fastest left hook in the business. Ali may have been hurt. Ali may have been hurt. Two minutes left in this round. Round 5 of 12.
Hold it till the traffic cop comes. Hold it till the traffic cop comes. Float like a butterfly.
Frazier couldn't get set there even though he had Ali on the ropes.
That box, tap box.
Frazier getting a little puffy around the right eye. A minute to go in this round.
Stick him while you done.
Solid shot by Ali. Wild by Frazier. Half a minute to go in the round. Frazier saw the opening, but he couldn't follow through. The bell ending round 5.
Ali seems to be tiring a little bit. And Joe Frazier has been the aggressor. Under the New York rules and scoring, aggression means a lot. Pride is perhaps the greatest single factor in this fight. And they're talking over there to Joe Frazier.
They're applying an ice pack on his forehead. I don't see any particular swelling on the forehead. They're putting it below the right eye, which I said was looking a little puffy. And Joe spits a little blood.
He seems to be gaining confidence, though, with each round, and Muhammad, as we mentioned, is slowing down a little bit, and you've got to give a tremendous amount of credit to Frazier after his rocky 2 rounds at the beginning, that he has come back and come back strong. And I think now Ali has a lot more respect. And there's the buzzer. And here we go with round 6.
Coming up to the halfway mark of this 12-round bout between these two great ex-champions. Some of those punches were blocked, partially. Ali keeping Frazier off balance, leading him to the punch. They're trading. 2 minutes left in this round.
Wait for the traffic.
The old Ali jab. Ali's outscoring Frazier about 4-1. Frazier hitting a little bit the harder. Dance. A minute to go in this round. They didn't land. They did. Ali is outsmarting Frazier.
The bell and the end of round 6. Ali using that left jab very effectively. Let's have a look now at the slow-mo of that 1-2 combination. The left and the right as thrown by Muhammad Ali. He's keeping Frazier off balance. But Frazier keeps boring. There's the left and here's the right that comes in. And both of them land beautifully as he utilized the 1-2 combination. But Frazier just doesn't slow down or back up. He just keeps boring in with every round.
Yes, but Van, I think he's pretty well falling behind in rounds won and lost. If Frazier is going to make a move, unless he knocks out Ali, he's got to make that move starting now. He can't afford to give any more rounds away.
Eddie Futch over there, who took the place of the late Yancey Durham. He's not one of the more publicized trainers, but he does a magnificent job and has great respect and has done a great job with Frazier.
Round 7, it is scheduled for 12. Biggest punch of the fight by Frazier. Frazier's getting to Ali. This is as good as the last fight. Frazier is grunting as he throws those punches in. Tony Perez gets them apart. Ali is not clowning in the clinches as he did in the first fight. This has been a good round for Frazier on punching. Frazier's left hook unquestionably his best punch. Ali with a half headlock. Frazier talks to Ali. Half a minute to go in the round. Perez is talking to Ali about something, I don't know what. A good double hook by Frazier. There's the bell.
That's by far the best round for Joe Frazier. He landed two good, solid left hooks. And we're going to have a look.
Frazier went back to the corner smiling.
All right, let's have a look now at Joe Frazier. Well, that's a solid left hook. He comes in with a right hand. And you'll see another great left by Frazier. His best round of the fight. And he went back to his corner just bristling with confidence. Now let's watch it again as he tries to set him up for that left hook, which is Frazier's best punch, and there it is. That landed solidly right on the right side of the jaw of Muhammad Ali. A good round for Joe Frazier. Frazier to his feet. That's Dr. Thompson there, giving him his mouthpiece. The buzzer, and here's Don.
Coming up to round 8. Joe Frazier turned the fight around a little bit in the last round. It's a 12-round bout. Ali opening fast again. Oh! Good thing for Ali that missed. There isn't any question, as Van said, that Ali is respecting Frazier a lot more now. Frazier has come on tremendously. Ali is doing the holding. Ali doing the holding. Big body shot. Ali looks a little bit arm weary for the first time. The round almost over.
There's the bell, and they have to pry them apart. They don't want to go back to their corners. Here's Muhammad Ali going back to his corner. And there's no question that Frazier stung him with that good right hand. And those two hard left hands in the previous round. There's the right hand that caught Ali, and it rocked him right back on his heels. He seemed a little arm weary. He might have punched himself out quite a bit. He has slowed down as we got set for round 9, but that blow that landed just before the bell took its toll on Muhammad Ali, and Angelo Dundee is working feverishly over Muhammad and talking to him. He doesn't seem to be in any deep trouble. He just seems to me to have tired a bit, Don.
I thought his arms were a little tired in the last round.
Look at Frazier. He's really excited now. He can feel that he has a real shot.
There's the foul. A double start in that round. Frazier is so confident at this point. Round 9 of a 12-rounder. Ali's arms are tired. Ali coming back. Now Frazier is getting careless, and Ali is putt-shotting him. Half the round over. Ali's face is getting puffy. Ali is bleeding from the nostrils. I'm not sure it's the left or the right side. Could be both. Less than a minute to go in the round. Now it's a battle for survival. Big punches by Ali there.
There's a bell, and once more, Tony Perez has to get between them. Let's go back to Ali's corner. And Drew Brown over there congratulating him on the round. He did come back. I don't believe he has the steam in his punches that he had earlier. He was a little arm weary, but he did come back in that round. But you can't take anything away from Frazier as we get set to go into round 10. He keeps boring in. He did land that left hand again. Ali apparently asked Angelo Dundee about the round coming up, Don, and he took a look himself to be sure that the scoreboard says round 10. But it's going to be a tough one to judge right now because Frazier came on in those middle rounds. And I want to tell you, the last 3 rounds of this fight is going to have a lot to do with the decision if it goes that far, Don.
That's right, Van. We have the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Round 10. Frazier is not grinning now, and he may have hurt Ali again. Frazier getting puffy around the eyes, below them, and there's a welt below his right eye. This bout, I must say, has been fought at an amazing pace for heavyweights, unquestionably, faster than the last one. There's a spot or two of blood on the white trunks of Muhammad Ali, his blood from his nose. That was a grazing left. Ali short with those jabs. Frazier's teeing off. Frazier's new strategy is the right to the body and followed by the left to the head. A minute to go in the round. Round almost over. Right at the bell.
Frazier landed that left hand again. Now Muhammad Ali is bleeding from the nose and Joe Frazier is bleeding from the mouth. And they're applying the ice pack on the head of Joe Frazier. Very warm here in Madison Square Garden. As we mentioned earlier, it was some 55 degrees outside and we had a rain as we came into the garden tonight. We're coming up to round 11, and these are important rounds. Angelo Dundee working on Muhammad Ali.
No knockdowns, as you know, no knockdowns yet.
I think they're both aware, Don, that these 2 rounds right now could tell the story in this fight.
There's the bell. Round 11 of a 12-rounder. That's the first time in any round that Frazier got in the first good punch. Ali has been doing the holding, making the clinches. Under New York scoring, the bout could end in a draw. Ali opening up. Crazy, wild. A minute to go in round 11. So far, a good round for Ali. It was in round 11 the last time that Frazier staggered Ali. Round almost over, round 11 of a 12-rounder.
Well, the crowd loves it, and it's just been amazing to me that two heavyweights can punch it out the way they have for 11 rounds. They are superbly conditioned, and with round 12 coming up, Don, a lot depends right here. We're looking at Joe Frazier. Joe seems to be in good condition. He's not hurt. Muhammad Ali doesn't appear to be hurt. And they can just pull out all the stops right here as we come up to this final round. And the judges are going to have a tough time in this one. Tony Castellani and Jack Gordon, and of course the referee, Tony Perez. There's the 10-second buzzer. And we're getting ready to go now into the final round at Madison Square Garden. Frazier's already out there. Now they shake hands, and here is Don.
There's no tomorrow, only tonight. This is the last round. corner. Now Ali seems a little more tired. A minute to go in the fight, 1 minute. There's the countdown. What a finish! The garden is bedlam. There will be no knockout, no knockout. It's almost over. There it is.
It's all over. And judges Tonis Castellani, Jack Gordon, and referee Tony Perez will have their work cut out for them. The New York police surrounding the ring. You're looking at Joe Frazier. Both these athletes in superb condition. And they look like they could go another 5 or 6 rounds easily.